Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Relationship Cheat Code, where we give you the game, helping you to stress less and experience your absolute best in your relationship. That PYT all the way over there is my beautiful and incredible wifey, young.
Thank you, baby. And that's my amazing dapper debonair boo baby, Aiyanna. Looking real smooth. Looking real tasty. Delectable.
Why you always gotta come out with the food word?
I'm matching your daddy. He tells me I look edible. So I like to tell him he look delectable.
Okay.
And these are three of our 5 children in the house tonight. And we are, I don't know what to say because I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm scared to talk because we was just recording and my husband said, don't say that. Like, I'm going to date the thing. So I don't know. I'm gonna let you.
Just how you feeling?
I'm going to let you lead the way.
How you feeling?
Good.
Good. That's not a feeling word.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Akai, how you feeling, babe?
Oh, same. I'm feeling good.
Hold on. We need to be more expressive and.
I'm feeling happy.
Happy? Okay.
I want to know how Akina is feeling. And I don't care if this dates the situation.
I'm feeling big
how
litty.
Are you feeling?
Big litty.
Big you don't litty. Need to do that, babe.
If you want the fade, come and get it.
What?
Really, bro.
Akina is getting ready to make a huge transition in her life, following up after her sister made one very similar transition last year, and she's been celebrating and hurrahing, and last night was a great celebration. How are you feeling? Can I say what it is, or we gotta just keep it vague? I mean,
just do you, but.
Thank you.
But I just said how
she's getting ready to go to college soon.
Woo-hoo.
She said big litty.
That's how I'm feeling, big litty.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means just like, big lit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's up, we up.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yes.
Dai, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Can we be more descriptive in our adjectives?
Yeah, you too.
No? I'm feeling enthusiastic. I'm feeling it indubitably.
Enthusiastic.
Exuberant. Motivated. I'm also feeling I have a certain level of exhaustion, even though I haven't started doing some of the things that I know I need to do today. And so I'm starting to feel the weight. I feel weighed down by that. So in the midst of my motivation of getting it done, I feel weighed down by all that has to be done today.
Oh, lighten up, buddy. Yeah.
How you feel weighed down? You didn't even start yet.
That's why I feel weighed down. Because I ain't started yet.
It took me.
Oh, y'all did?
That's why procrastination exists, because we feel weighed down before we start. So we just never start because we feel weighed down.
That's true. Stop the procrastinating. Okay, so
I got a question for you.
Yes.
I got a question. So everybody recently, except for me, and I'm just really curious. Like, I know that y'all kind of gave me a quick little overview of it. Y'all all went to go see Inside Out 2 recently.
Oh yes.
And I wanted to hear from you guys, like specifically, like which one is better, Inside Out 2 or Rocky 2?
What?
Which one's Rocky 2? What happened in that one?
What do you mean? Which one is Rocky?
Rocky, the movie,
Apollo
Rocky,
Creed?
the fighting joint.
Was Apollo Creed the second one?
Apollo Creed was the first and the second one. But
Yeah.
The second one was when Rocky came back and he ended up beating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Beating
So it was
who?
like a monumental moment.
Apollo
Yeah, that's when they had the simultaneous knockdown, I believe. And
Yeah.
That was a good one.
and then he beat him based off of the count.
He got up at the last second and
Yeah.
Apollo was still down.
I mean, hands
That's
down.
a monumental moment in cinema history, but the way y'all was talking about this Inside Out 2.
Wow, what a comparison.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 2 sequels to 2 very esteemed franchises. You feel me?
Right.
So, like, I just wanted to see where y'all's heads was at when it came to, like, Inside Out 2. Why did it make you feel what you felt? But then Rocky 2.
Yeah.
You feel nothing from either one. Like, what y'all think?
I mean, I personally am gonna go with Rocky. I mean, all of the Rocky movies to me were a beast, but Rocky 2, it was definitely motivational, and I found myself pulling for the underdog, even though I rock with Apollo Creed. Carl Weathers, R.I.P. was a beast.
He's dead in real life?
Yeah. Was a beast in terms of just his cinematic performances, and so I loved it. I loved Rocky 2. I would go with that hands down. I mean, but Inside Out was tight too. Inside Out 2, was it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that as well. But I like the real people. The real people. And then, what's funny is that when I'm going on my runs, occasionally, because I listen to these montages of motivational speeches, occasionally Rocky will pop up. And, you'll have Sylvester Stallone. And he had some bomb speeches in like all of his movies that just motivated you and kept you going. And so I like that it was direct, it was in your face, it was don't give up, it was fight, grind, and so it was go hard. And so I like that piece right there.
Okay, what you think? Inside Out 2 or Rocky 2?
Inside Out 2. I love Rocky though, but I feel like I don't remember that movie all the way, so I can't.
Crazy.
Yeah, I remember it was good though for sure, 100%. But I just don't remember the movie I don't remember the whole thing. But Inside Out 2, that was a 10. That was a 35 out of. That was a 79.8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So
79.
it's like that was a great movie, and yeah, even though, and then I agree with you, like Rocky does have a bunch of motivational stuff and all that, but like Inside Out was funny. It had the little, what are the words? It had like little like gems they dropped in there and like little stuff that maybe little kids didn't understand, but we understood, and I was like, that was good.
Like what?
What they said? They said like, oh, they put them in a bottle, and they were like, we're suppressed emotions. I was like, that's funny, but yeah, a lot of stuff like that, and it was just so good. And it's my childhood, like.
What?
It was my childhood, like
I would have never known that until you said that about the whole. How old were you when it came out the first time?
it came out like 9 years ago.
He was young.
So like 10. Yeah. It takes a cake for me. It was so good. It was so emotional. It was everything. It was happy, funny, sad, everything. So yeah, I loved it.
Can I say something really quickly? Like, this isn't from Rocky 2, but Asante, I think you asked the question about were there any standout lines. This is from Rocky 3 with Clubber Lang.
That one.
And the piece that I be using this sometimes when I'm talking to the dudes, but there was this line in there after, I believe it was after or when he was about to fight him. Apollo Creed was in the ring with Rocky. They had like gone back to train, and Rocky was basically, he was out of it. He had gotten to Kush and he was living his life and feeling good. And basically his manager and Apollo Creed was like, this dude is gonna eat you alive. But when they was in the gym training, there's this line that Apollo Creed says that really stands out to me, because Rocky was boxing him, he was sparring with him, and then he gave up. And he was like, I'll get back to it tomorrow. But Apollo Creed was like, there is no tomorrow. Like there is no tomorrow. It's today. Like you gotta get it today. And so that was
mindset.
Yeah, that was a really profound line to me. Like, just, you can't wait. Like, what are you waiting for? Just get it.
Get it.
Yeah, that's always been my favorite line of the whole series.
Oh, you know that line. Y'all both.
That's in your head, like.
Yeah, I remember when I met Carl Weathers, I literally went up to him. I was like, yo, like, I'll never forget when you was in the ring with Rocky. And I like reenacted the whole thing in front of him. He was like, that goes back and forth. But that was definitely a moment that kind of just, I don't know, it solidified something, at least for me, in terms of like, just putting your all into the present moment.
And then it captured the despair too. I mean, that Rocky was feeling, because he wanted it, but he ain't really wanted. He wanted it, but he wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
Like, and he was exposed.
He was exposed.
He was exposed, yeah. And even in, I think, what's the movie we talking about? Inside Out 2. You had that ambivalence and that dichotomy as well, where it's like you can move forward or you could be afraid. But I'm sorry, Ken, you was about to say something.
I was just saying, I'll say, well, Rocky 3 that's my favorite Rocky. That one's really good. But no, but I would say though, I don't know, I'll just say, like, I like them both, but I feel like Rocky too and stuff. When I just see Rocky, I just be thinking of David Goggins. I don't know why David Goggins just comes to my head when I think of Rocky like to a T. It could just so Rocky's just so motivational. And you have like the scenes of them like just on the beach, just like that one movie when it was like the Russia one when he was just training for that, like things like that. But for Inside Out too, I feel like I don't know, it touches more like the emotions, you know. And to me, like I'm more like an emotional person when I want to be. So it's like, you know, you just feel more. But Rocky's more just like inspirational, but you feel. But then also Inside Out, I feel like it lets everyone know like it's okay to feel all your emotions, and it helps people to learn what their emotions are. Because some people who aren't in tune with their emotions, they'll be like, "Oh, gee, maybe I do have anxiety." You know what I mean? Like, "Oh my gosh, maybe I do have fear in these different ways." Like they might not really realize it. But I feel like the display of all the emotions like normalizes like the complexity.
Yes, Akina. That's good. So I agree. I agree with Akina. I don't think there's really a comparison between the two because I feel like they have some overlaps, but they're kind of just two different movies. I think they're both amazing movies. And because Inside Out 2 is more recent, and because, you know, I'm a therapist and a mommy and all those things, like, I'm always going to love the emotions, the exploration of emotions. I mean, that concept to make a movie to show a young person going through, they're like, she was what, elementary age or prepubescent. And then all of a sudden she's a teenager and she wakes up the next morning and like, oh my God, the world's gonna, you know, gonna end or whatever. And then all of this kind of trying to find her. Oh, and that was the piece in Inside Out 2 that was so good. I don't remember what they were saying, but her core self. Like like you're building your core self as a young person. And it's a choice based on who she's exposed to. She had that one group of friends that she was trying to like be a get with and trying to be in the cool space, and then her genuine friends and her core self, which I think was like, yeah, her core sense of self was like, I'm a good person. And then the other side was, I'm not enough. And I thought that was so good. Like, this is like literally what we all, on some level, everybody deals with those two different aspects of like feeling that way at different times. I'm a good person, or I am enough, you know, I am well, or I'm not enough. And showing that one was dying. And then, you know, what ends up growing and moving forward into your young adulthood is dependent on what you're exposed to and what's around you, what's coming in your brain. But we all go through the ups and downs. And I thought that was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go see it again.
Yeah, it's like that. It seems like that core self that y'all talking about from Inside Out kind of stems from like, or going outside of it kind of stems from what you was just talking about, Akina, anxiety, you know. And I wanted to see what you thought real quick about like, why do you feel like anxiety is such a, I feel like it's kind of a big problem when it comes to especially people that are our age, you know what I'm saying? I don't know like how anxiety was necessarily seen when y'all was, you know, our age, you know what I'm saying, or even experienced. But I feel like that's something that a lot of people go through that like maybe we just kind of normalize now. Why do you think that is?
I think partially it's like, I can't say like you can put all the blame on social media, but I can see a lot of it, not blame, but just a lot of it stems from social media and then just the opinions of others kind of getting in our heads. Because I feel like anxiety is just the worry of what will be. You know what I'm saying? It's when you're too caught up in what may happen ahead, you kind of like lose sight of what's going on right now. And,
How does social media make you try to look at what's going to happen ahead?
or not necessarily what's going to happen ahead, but just what you don't know. So it's like it makes you kind of feed into these what ifs, you know, and then you might get anxious because of them. And yeah, and it happens subconsciously. Like, I mean, you can see it. Like you could be in a relationship, see a post about your part, oh, if they're not texting you back, they don't want you, and it's subconsciously that may do something to you, and so you start to get anxious and you start feeling some type of way. And it's like, I think it's more common not only because stuff like that is out there, but also like our generation, we kind of losing ourselves in a way where we haven't built that foundation within us that we can kind of like recognize that we don't gotta believe and we don't have to abide by what we see on social media. We don't have to take that as a truth and let it affect us like spiritually. You know?
Yeah. I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly, and like, you know, it's funny the conversation that was started before we actually started the podcast because it was actually going down the exact line that I was planning to take us. But you know, Akina, you had brought something up about like, you know, what is interesting for a man to be able to do versus not be able to do. How
Don't
that
get
kind
me
of
canceled.
affects. No, I'm just saying, like you know, so my topic of conversation, because I feel like this has been something trending on social media for maybe like the past year or so, where there's been like this list of things people will add to the notes that people be talking on Twitter. Oh, if a man is doing this and I can't be with him, we're like, nah, that he's not a real man, or like stuff like that, right?
Wow.
And so I got a whole list
Oh.
right here, right now, of what they supposedly say on Twitter, of things that masculine men are not allowed to do.
Oh, wow.
And I just wanted to get your other opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, number one on the list is masculine men apparently cannot eat bananas.
At least not in public. Do that at home.
Not in
Really,
public.
Akina? You can eat some daggone bananas.
It depends on how they eat the banana, though.
like break in half or something.
It depends. Like, take small bites. You know.
Yeah, small bite. No, don't just chomp it down. Like break it in half. Like
Yeah.
To a diet. I'm sorry, they all talking. I'm trying to say you just had it more so over to you. You need to have it out.
Oh, okay.
More.
Yeah. So you feel like masculine men gotta like, you know, shake it off and then shake
I
it.
mean,
And
I
then
just
pop it
feel
in
like
their
it's
mouth.
really odd if you just walk down the street and you just see a man like chomping down on a banana.
What? Akina?
Like it's just
Not
it's
all
just
that.
very odd.
Not all that. But if a man is like going like crazy on a banana, like just bite, like take small bites. Like that's all I'm saying.
Take small bites?
Like don't be like on a banana. I'm confused.
Nah.
Okay,
like,
that's crazy.
yeah.
I'm joking.
So I would say it's okay. Why don't we go down the line and say whether it's okay or not? Let's go down the line. I say that it's fine.
Go ahead, Dan.
I don't care, bro.
Well,
It's fine.
it's okay, but just take small bites.
Yes, it's fine.
So okay, so Ma, so you wouldn't like if you like a kayak just say like take small bites. If you know before you had met Bobby and like you had seen somebody that just had a banana, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing
and, like,
comes to mind.
And they stuck the whole banana in their mouth and they didn't bite.
Nobody eats a
it
banana like that.
But what if they do?
Nobody does that in Kaya.
But what if they did? That would not be like, so.
They would be odd because of how they're eating. Not because it's a banana, but because why are they stuffing that whole piece of food in their mouth like that, right?
Yeah.
But
So I can't eat a banana. I can't eat a hot dog.
y'all
I can't
seen
eat
y'all
pickles. I
your
can't.
brothers and your dad.
You can, just don't put the whole thing in your mouth.
Nobody does
At
that.
one
Lollipops.
They said you can't eat kale as a man.
Kale.
Yeah, they just said that there's something unmasculine about eating kale.
Nah, they tripping.
Who are these?
Like I went
I'm
to
gonna get canceled in the
I went
word
to
I
a vegan restaurant back in the day. They had this bomb kale salad.
I know what you're talking
It
about.
was on point. Like
What? That made you think it was a vegan restaurant because he said kale.
yeah, it made me think about that kale salad
Why you
No,
think
I know
about
what you're
my
talking
kale
about.
that I make?
because it was a raw kale salad.
Oh,
I know what you're
So
talking
it
about.
was the one that had like a whole bunch of garlic in it that I used to tell you not to eat.
the garlic.
I've had it too, right, Baba?
Yeah, all of y'all.
Can we get somebody to go back?
We should.
It was still
so
around.
good.
I didn't name it because I'm not sure it was still
Everlasting
around.
life.
All right, what's the next
Sorry,
one?
you don't want me to say that.
Right.
That's a great restaurant.
It is. It's banging.
This one's like kind of like controversial for me because it's like, bruh, like I be doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bruh, like okay, so apparently masculine men can't do yoga. You know what I'm saying? But like, bruh, like,
It's fine.
bruh, I didn't need to get stretched to pause, but like, I need to get stretched. I need to stretch. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that I'm able. I work out a lot.
We
You
all
know
need
what
to
I'm saying?
stretch.
You said what?
We all needed to stretch.
Yeah, but like, why do you guys feel like that's something? Why would that even be on the list?
This is all.
Y'all
This is
understand
all
why it's on the
homophobia.
list?
It's
I
homophobia.
really don't.
But I disagree. But I understand why. They're just doing the most.
It's homophobia.
Like imagine
Like I understand why they're saying that.
It's
I'm
nothing wrong
always
with it.
understanding, but like I don't agree. Though.
But some of like you have to admit some of the yoga positions are a little emasculinating. You know what I mean? Or whatever the word is. Like some of the
Emasculating.
yeah.
Emasculating.
Emasculine. Like some of the yoga position, like you just seen a man just
No,
like,
they're not.
popped
And
like
that's
that.
the
You just
wrong word
like-
to use, but
You know what I mean? But like no, but it's something wrong with doing yoga. But it's just like it's just people go laugh at you Like, it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't see anything wrong. But you can see why people think that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
I think it has to do with people's comfortability. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say this necessarily emasculating, but like I was just going through y'all social media and I saw a video of like where Bobby had joined you in the workout, and there was a point where you had to do like cat cow.
Downward dog.
And you heard
no, cat cow. Where like you gotta
you're arching your back.
you're arching your back.
And your daddy, what he say? He was having a hard time with the arch in the back.
You wasn't trying to put that arch in that.
Because he ain't that comfortable. He ain't that comfortable.
Yeah, like, but I understand that. That's what I'm saying. It has to do with comfortability. But if I was to see you put the arch in your back,
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't say that makes you less of a man.
No.
I'd just be like, okay, he's comfortable arching his back.
But y'all, can I just say this? This is all of these things are these kinds of things. People joke about them, whatever. People know, like, oh, we not for real, but we are actually kind of serious. It's all homophobia. It all comes to homophobia, and it also comes, it's also some toxic masculinity going on there, where in order for you to be masculine or male enough or whatever, you have to show up a certain way or be a certain way. And I just think that everybody listening right now, I just think that it's important for everybody to know, men and women included, like, you don't have to be no way in order to be a man. If you're a man, you're a man. Point blank period.
I got a good one though. What about going to the nail shop and getting getting your
There's
nails?
a lot of conversations these days
Nails
about
done, clear coat,
Or painted.
paint. So I have to look at your dad looking all down.
Oh no, yeah. So what about clear coat just done, and then what about actually getting your nails painted a color, and getting your feet done? What y'all think about that?
Hey, what's up, y'all? So we know you're enjoying the episode, but check this out, y'all. We're not just any old random couple that's coming on YouTube every week just giving relationship suggestions and stuff like that. We're way more than that, y'all. We're trained therapists and relationship coaches. This right here is my beautiful, incredible, sensational wife, Aiyanna.
And this right here is my dapper, debonair husband, Aiyize. So y'all, we just want you to know that there is more. We don't want you to just be a spectator. We want you to get in here with us and join our community. We have all kind of folks who are doing their personal work, their relationship work. We have sister circles and men's lounges and trainings, and we address all kinds of things from infidelity to disconnection to communication issues and sex and intimacy issues. Look, the solution is at blandcore.com. Join us. Okay, let me start.
Some of these athletes be having their nails
I'm going to say this because I think I am. This is what I think. I think I'm the perfect combination of both sides because I usually see both sides. Because a lot of this is culture too. Culturally, at least when your dad and I were coming up, like you didn't get your nails, the boys didn't get their nails painted. Now I'm not saying that nobody from our day did that. I'm just saying generally speaking, you weren't going to the. When I would go to the nail shop, I wouldn't see men in the nail shop. If I go to the nail shop today, which I don't really go like that, but I do see men in there, right? So it's been a shift. And like grown men with wives and children, right? Going to get their hands manicured but you just didn't see that before. And certainly not with the color. So I will say that it's like every time you get exposed to something new, like, oh. Like I'll be like, oh, okay. And it's like low key weird to me for a moment. Only because of my lack of exposure, not because they're weird, but because of my lack of exposure. But then I know better to know, like, it's different now, and different doesn't mean it's bad. I know a lot of people will be like, nah, that's just they're trying to blend the lines between man and woman, and I hear all of these conspiracy theories around trying to destroy the black man. Sometimes I hear them in my own house from some people. But I'm just saying, I don't think that there's nothing to that, but I think that people are becoming more free to be themselves. So this is not new. It just might be newly publicized.
What you think of that? Because I always I don't ever judge any man that wants to get their nails painted, but I also never understood it. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we was talking about the other day, this new number one, or I don't know if you were number one. But this new draft pick in the NBA, Jerry McCain, who apparently he's like a really tough baller, but he be doing TikTok dances and he's known for getting his nails painted, And so I'm like, it's not something that I understand, but I don't know, maybe you could provide more insight into it. What do you think?
I don't think there's nothing wrong with getting your nails painted. I don't think I would ever get mine painted, But I would get a clear thing, and I would get my nails clean. And I think, again, as a man, if I judge you for painting your nails, it's because I judge myself. And I just think like all judgment of others stems from judgment of your own self. So like, and I think subconsciously you kind of you feel some type of way, or you may envy how free they are. Like the fact that you even have the ability to go out and get your nails painted or get your nails clean. I feel some type of way because it's like dang, like that man just like he's free. You feel me? I think that's a place that we all want to be in. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like it doesn't make you any less of a man. All you doing is getting your nails painted. You're just getting your nails clean. Like how does that? What does that have to do with you as a man? Like it literally does not correlate if you really think about it. So
maybe I should ask like a Kyle and Kenan, because you know that's something that traditionally and historically is in the culture as women is getting your nails painted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like from the time that y'all was little, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get your nails painted probably because you saw your mom doing it. You know, you saw other older women doing it. Your friends was doing it. Like, what is the excitement that comes with getting your nails painted specifically? You know, like what goes through your mind to be like, oh, this is something, and you too, Mom, this is something that I really care about, like putting colors on my nails.
Well,
It's cute.
I'll say
It's cute and it's a vibe. That's really why. I mean, I really don't get my nails done like that, but it's cute. It's a vibe, and I feel like at least for men, I feel like they might, if it's not getting like your like nails cleaned and like just that, and it's getting a color. I just feel like 'cause they think it looks cool. Like, oh, this design looks hard. Like this is tough. I just feel like they think it's cute. Like it's a vibe.
Ooh, think about like this. I need to say something. Think about back in the day where women didn't wear pants, because this is all culture. This is just culture. What the culture says is okay.
Flappers.
Women didn't wear pants, and so imagine from when women started wearing pants, people were like, men and women were like, we don't do that. Like, no, like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's literally kind of probably the same thing. And when somebody breaks that mold and says, no, like, why can't I do it too? You know what I mean? Then it's really challenging only because it hadn't been done. But I think we can see the correlation when we think about women wearing pants today is normal. But there was a time when that just did not happen, period. And it's probably, it's very much similar because the culture said women don't do that.
And I say to that point, because first, Frank Ocean song, y'all, be yourself and know that that's good enough. Yeah. Period. Just remember that. But I will say though, I feel like when people like do paint their nails, like guys, again, like they're expressing themselves and they feel free to express themselves, which is really a beautiful thing if you like sit there and look at it, because we're all in life and stuff, and you think about life, make the most out of your own life, and a lot of people like just don't just exist, live, so it's a beautiful thing to see, I'd say. But also what I do want to say is that it's okay for people to have preferences, and I feel like you can acknowledge the beautiful thing in like your freedom of expression and doing this, but then it's also okay for someone to be like, that's cool, but I'm good where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of people be like, I'm not going to judge you, but I'm not going to talk to a guy, who has his nails painted, and that's okay with them because that's their life and that's what they want to do, and it don't make them homophobic or anything because they don't want to talk to a guy with their nails painted. They just don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because of where they come from, their comfortability, their traditional norms, their culture, right? So I feel like there's a balance of both. But that's what I do have to say, because I do see sometimes on like the internet, it's like, oh, nah, you homophobic or you did it all because you're not talking to a guy with their nails painted. It's the same way for you to have a preference in race. It's the same way Dr. Umar be talking about nobody's never, Black queens forever. It's just all preference. So, yeah.
So I'm glad that you lifted
Delete that out. Delete that part out too. I don't think it's out.
I'm glad.
Keep that in. Keep it in.
Yeah, I'm glad that you lifted that up. I was trying to see where I could get in on this conversation. So I definitely respect individuality and people's creativity, and I want you to be able to do you. And at the same time too, I think that one major piece that, and I'm speaking to we as Black folks, that we as Black folks have gotten away from is we focus so much on individual expansion that we've divorced ourselves from the responsibility to the collective. And so for me, that's where a lot of this becomes problematic, because you can have your taste buds, you can have your inclinations, you can have your likings, you can have your creativity. But what about within the context of the whole? And so if you stepping out and doing this is detrimental to the whole, then maybe you shouldn't be stepping out and doing this. And if you showing up in a certain way has an impact on the entirety, yeah, you can, you know, experience your liberation. But if you liberated and we not, and there's a ripple effect based off of your actions, I'm thinking about like, how do we take your actions individually in terms of how they impact the whole? And so I think that we've gotten away from just collective responsibility. And if you want to add the collective work piece, I think that we've gotten away from that as well too. So a lot of what we're doing now, it's like we are it's like just do you. And what I'm saying is that what about us doing us? And it doesn't mean that there can't be self-expression within that, but I'm just saying you got a responsibility. And I think that we all got a responsibility, and it's not just to do what we want to do. It's to the whole. And so some of these decisions and preferences and sometimes you gotta swallow it. And it may be unfair and you know, but life ain't fair. And I'm thinking about like moving the whole forward. And so I'm not saying don't do what you want to do in terms of nails and all of that type of stuff. But what I am saying is that just because you want to do it don't mean that you should do it.
But my question is, how does that take away from the whole?
Well, I mean, so some people, and you know, you lifted this up earlier that I do think that there is an agenda, a very real agenda to diminish, minimize, mute, erase black men, and what it means to be a black man, a heterosexual black man, and there's a lot of blending, there's a lot of graying, and it impacts the family dynamic. And so for me, like the more you see something propagated, then the more normalized it becomes. And not to say that it can't exist, because I'm not. To Akina's point earlier, you know, you know, we have different types of people in the world, but I do feel like there is a very real agenda when it comes to emasculating black men and trying to feminize black men, which for me is problematic. It really is problematic.
So would you all say, I don't know, is this something that you've seen beyond black people? We just stick with the nail thing, or is this? I mean, because you're talking from a black people perspective, but I feel like people like in the culture in general, I've seen this. It's not race based. It's not a black people thing. I know you're thinking about it from a black people's perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know I see more and more rappers wearing dresses and I mean you see all and it's not that it doesn't exist and that rappers can't do that, but it almost feels like it's being popularized and pushed, which then has an impact on younger generations. And so again, self-expression is one thing, but I mean, what do we want our community to look like?
Well, so we could go down this road and be stuck on this road for a long time, and I know we're not going to do that. But I will say this is what I always say. So I hear where you're coming from, but I do feel like when you think about the grand scheme of things in the black community and in the community in general, whether we talking about painting nails or wearing dresses as young men or anything, right? The people who are wearing the dresses and the people who've been painting their nails, they have been the ones who have not been seen. They've been the ones who have been suppressed or oppressed. They're not coming in and taking over. They've been in the shadows due to stigma, due to not feeling loved and appreciated and respected, due to not being able to even be around black folks who respect them as a black person, as a black man because you're different than me, or as a black woman because you're different than me. So when I think about that and I hear the piece that you're saying, it always, we've had, me and my husband, your daddy, has had this conversation many times. It always reminds me of the dominant authority in society trying to maintain a status quo. They're not always conscious of it, but that's what they do. This is what's happening right now with Trump and Project 2025 and all the stuff we've been hearing about, the things that they're doing. You know, we can get into a real deep conversation about you know, at what is it? Some year they're gonna say there ain't gonna be no low white and black. It's just gonna be everybody gonna be mixed together, right? And white folks want to maintain the status quo of whiteness and white supremacy, and so we need to roll back things and make sure that we can keep ourselves in power. That's a fear of the unknown. It's a fear of the new. It's a fear of people of color. You know, on and on and on. So black people, we then, and it's not just a black people thing, but for the purposes of this conversation, we do the same thing. That we mimic the oppressor. And when we mimic the oppressor, we do the same thing by trying to maintain the status quo of what we know to be normal, when we don't recognize that we actually are privileged people. To be heterosexual is to be privileged. To operate within any norm that is seen as okay is a privilege, you know. And when you're outside of that, you know, as Jesus says, I'm gonna bring Jesus into it. You know, we should be looking out for the least of these, whether it's based on how they express themselves in their
I
dress
agree with
or
that.
their sexuality or anything. And so, I think that that's like, it's just kind of fancy. And I'm not saying you're doing that intentionally. I know that's your feeling, but I think a lot of black folks fall into that thinking because it's a fancy way to keep ourselves in a place of like, let's just keep things comfortable for me. I'm uncomfortable with some of this stuff.
And I
Because
say
like the
too,
crazy,
but
like, cause like the crazy thing is, what if it was like reversed? What if the norm was being, you know, gay or part of the LGBTQ community, and then we started, you know, coming in, and you know, they were like, now they're pushing an agenda and this and that. Like, it, to me, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
What doesn't make sense?
the whole, I understand the pushing, I understand what you're saying, but it's like I said, if you just, the roles were reversed, and being, like mommy said, being heterosexual was not the norm, and we started coming out and just, and heterosexuals just started doing what they do, and then gay people said, oh, they're trying to start pushing they're pushing an agenda to make this the norm.
Like to make heterosexuality the norm.
Yeah, like, no, they're just being, like, we're just being us.
just like look at it flip. And to that point, because I do have to say this, y'all, everyone watching, Black community, we have so many more things to worry about than someone painting their nose. You know what I'm saying? Someone being gay, this, that, or third. Like, as a Black community, I seen this one TikTok. She broke it down really well. Like, there's so much more we have to focus on, and it's kind of hard. Like, it's sad. I mean, like, it's really heartbreaking when we see like that people are more focused on. I'll bring up a situation with Diddy and stuff, right? Diddy, terrible, terrible man. You know what I'm saying? Did all these different things. But a part of what he did was that he took advantage of little boys. I've seen on social media, Black people in the Black community focus more on the fact that it's little boys, not that's gay, instead of the fact that he took advantage of these people. Like, things like that, that's backwards. And I feel like you have to sit there and reflect, why are you so uncomfortable with this? Why are you so uncomfortable with someone being gay, but then more than them taking advantage of someone? And like, it's just so... It's so sad, and we see it all the time. So if you're out here thinking like you're really mad and stuff about your son being gay or someone painting their nails, be mad about them hitting on someone. You know what I'm saying? Be mad about this, that, or third. Be mad about taking advantage. Like, we have to uplift our minds because it's sad. And then also, if we're gonna say Black Lives Matter too, we gotta say all Black lives matter. So that's gay people as well too. You can't stand for Black Lives Matter, but not include gay people, transgenders, like all that. It's so backwards and it's so weird. And it's just, no. So yeah, I had to say that because,
Yeah, I mean, that's bars right there. And I'm hoping that the takeaway from what I'm saying is not that all Black lives don't matter. I think that both realities can coexist. You can have folks who are in the LGBTQ, IA community, and that's cool. Like, that's who they are. And then for some situations, that's the choice or the decision that people have made. And so there's room for that. But I think there can be room for that. And at the same time, too, there'd be room for an agenda, which is pushing a message that I want more of y'all to look this way because we're trying to influence a certain narrative when it comes to a particular group of people. So both realities can exist. And so what I'm saying is that let's make room for the folks who are are that way and who show up and even for those folks who choose. But for those folks who choose, that's when I start to question and I lift up, like, is this influenced by a narrative or is this how you always felt? And for me, That's what I get concerned about. Like people just trying to control the way we show up, the way we think, the way we feel, and so somebody may say, but that's what the heterosexual. There's a heterosexual agenda as well. And to that point, what I would say is that I can see, like we need men and women. We need men and women. And in one of our previous podcasts, I asked the question about, do y'all feel like there's a need for men? Do women feel like there's a need for men? I believe that we're still relevant and that we are needed and that we are of value. But some of these messages out here be like, what purpose do y'all serve as men? And to me, that's problematic.
You're conflating that with this. Those two things don't necessarily have one to do with the other. And if you come in the house tomorrow, somebody come in the house and they got on the whole dress. It's a dude. He got on the whole dress and he got his nails painted. It doesn't take away his masculinity. He's still a man. So yeah, we're just talking about gender norms now. When we talk about dress and nails and expression, those are gender norms. Those don't have anything to do with whether or not you're a man or not.
And to the point of the agenda that you're saying, now that I'm thinking about it, I could understand there could be an agenda, but that isn't. I don't see that as a negative thing. Just like how when Black people were suppressed, we had an agenda to become liberated and be seen. The white people didn't see what we saw, so we wanted them to hear us. We wanted to be in the limelight. Black Panthers, all that stuff. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. How there's maybe an agenda, but it might be for a reason. They're trying to be out there. They're trying to be seen. They're trying to let people know like this is the norm now. Like this is regular. It's fine. It's okay. And there's going to be heterosexual people. There's going to be homosexual people. And even though there is influence, I still feel like just genuinely there's always going to be people who are straight. And it's always going to be people who are gay. And it doesn't mean that the world is going to turn to everybody just being
Right. Well, yeah.
Either or. Like we're all going to coexist.
I mean, I challenge certain.
And it's just so funny how we just started out. Asante took us down the lane of talking about nails, and we turned it. Not we. I guess we did. Turned it into a gay and straight kind of a conversation. Like in that, when
That's kind of crazy.
you see that's those gender norms. Like it doesn't have nails. Don't have anything to do with being gay. You know what I mean? If somebody painting their nails doesn't mean you're gay. So, but you see how we did that, and Asante was lifting up as if a guy paints his nails, do you have a problem with that? What do you think about that? And the assumption I could say would be, well, he didn't say whether the person was straight or gay. But you see how we turned this whole conversation into, which I think was some very good points. But like, I just want to clarify that those two they're not linked necessarily.
I've always wondered why is it that, especially with some of my thoughts and perspectives, but why is it that heterosexual is straight? To me, inherently, what's implied is that to be gay is crooked. And but why is that? Like, why is heterosexual straight? And if heterosexual is straight, what is gay?
I mean, just think. Well, I mean, just it doesn't make it right, but just think about the Bible and just religion and like what just the foundation and stuff was. So it's like, if that's what it's just kind of like if that's what they were always thought. You know what I mean? Like the foundation of United States of America and the founding fathers and the Bible and slavery and Christianity and all that. Like it says in the Bible, that. So it's like that's just what they use the term. It's just.
But even in our language, are we being non-inclusive by identifying heterosexuality as straight? Because inherently,
be a new word soon. It's a new word in the vocabulary. That do be getting on my nerves. It'd be a new word in the vocabulary every other day. I'd be like, oh, a new word. New one. But I know it's good. But sometimes it's hard to keep up. Like, what is it again?
And then to the whole toxic masculinity piece, it was said even during this conversation, talking about bananas and hot dogs and pickles and stuff, like pause.
No, that's so crazy.
And I don't know where that originated. I believe it was in New York, but
Why you say New York?
I don't know. I heard somebody say that before. But that right there, I think that we as men, I don't know if women say pause, but we as men,
we don't say no daggone pause.
No, I say pause if it gets out of hand.
Should be able to converse.
Yeah, sometimes.
Should be able to converse freely without needing to say pause. Like it's why am I assuming? It speaks to what you were talking about today. But why am I assuming that that there is some homosexual intent behind what you're saying?
So you're gonna stop saying pause, Baba?
I don't say pause.
I don't say
You don't say pause.
No.
Yeah,
But some things he wouldn't say around a bunch of men, though, Baba. You know that.
But I'm not gonna say pause.
Like some things you just wouldn't
But I
say.
should be able to feel comfortable saying it. Like it's because I know that like
So
I mean,
start saying it. It can start.
it depends on what you're talking about. Like if I like bananas, I like hot dogs. Yeah, I'll say that.
I would say I think that I've been watching It Is What It Is recently with Mason Cameron, and you know they both from New York. And yo, the amount of times that they say pause during their podcast be cracking me up. Cause it be like the most nothing saying. They be talking about sports. And they be talking about, oh yeah, he was backing them down in the paint. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it even be stuff that's lower than that. Like
I open the door. Pause.
no, literally, like yo, he was wide open for the 3. Pause. Like it's funny, you know what I'm saying? But it's like at the same time, like it's like wow, like why are we laughing at something that's so?
I know.
Honestly, it's toxic.
But it's funny though.
But
Let's not get rid of it. It's hilarious.
I listen. I think.
Is it offensive?
No.
What?
Not to
I'm
you.
I'm not
Well,
gay, so you have to ask gay people.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh,
And you know what? Ain't gonna be one answer. It's gonna be some people will be like, "Man, that thing is hilarious. It's funny to me," and then other gay people will be like, "It's very inappropriate."
But even you'll have gay people saying pause after sentences. They'll be like, pause. Gay
That's
people.
why it's funny, because why are y'all saying that?
Sometimes gay people be like, pause.
They
The gays I
well, it
know.
means,
Is that true?
for that particular situation, I'm not talking about me and that person, right? All right. You got a last question or something for us, Asante?
Last question. Would y'all date a kind of would y'all date a man? Would y'all date a man that laughs more than twice a day?
Yes.
If my
That
man
laughs
don't, if my
If he
man
don't
don't
laugh
laugh,
more-
then we're not being together. Because
Ever.
I'm funny,
What?
so yeah.
And the more you laugh, the longer you live.
Hey, there you go. Okay, cool. So now we know it is not unmasculine to laugh more than twice a day. I think it is.
See, them nonchalant men. Ugh. Like, nonchalant. Ugh.
But yeah, we solved it.
Is it okay for me to say K?
Yes, it's been okay.
It's okay, but it's like, do you do you hate me or no? Like,
So that's your interpretation. I had a friend back in the day when we would send the text messages, and it was a dude. He called me up. He didn't call me up, but he sent me a message in response to one of my texts to him. I guess we were supposed to be meeting somewhere, and so he said what he said via text, and then I responded back, K, just the letter K. And then when we finally met up, he was like, yeah, I've been meaning to say this to you, that, you ain't supposed to be like just responding K when you text.
So you know about this?
And I was like, what?
Wow.
What are you talking about? He was like, because K is kind of like, it's kind of coming off. So you saying passive aggressive, but he was saying it's coming off as being feminine, or yeah, that's what he was saying. And so I never knew that, but y'all and I just learned from you that texting in all caps or in lower cases is
Don't even listen to that mess.
yeah, it's a whole new world out here, and I don't know how to navigate these text streets. I'm a text how I choose to text.
Right, be you. Be yourself.
And it don't matter.
Everyone just do yourself. Be you. You be all right.
Yeah.
Hold on. You say everybody do yourself. This last point though, because I want to make sure that this isn't missed.
Okay.
Do you all feel like it's important for us to have standards?
Absolutely.
Standards when it comes to men, standards when it comes to women, and how we show up. And if so, why?
Well, I want to qualify. I think it's important for people to have standards. I think it's important for communities to have standards, and the community standards get set by the families within that community and the people in that community, right? But I do think that how you get to the standard can differ. So the standards are not oppressive and restricting and saying you must look like this and it must be like that per se. Even though all people, all families, including us, we have a certain way we like to look, flow, be, and that's how we roll in our house, right? But in general, I hope that all of our children, I hope all of you all know that our standards are more so about values. Our standards about how you show up in the world, what kind of person you are, your integrity, you know what I'm saying? Your responsibility, like you talked about, to your purpose and to your people. Like those are the kind of standards I think that are important, and how you get there in terms of, and also, I mean, some of those things for sure are about gender norms. Like our sons know. I would hope you all know you're around women or young ladies, right? You are opening the door, you're getting the bag, you're helping them, right? All of those things are okay. I mean, there are people out there I know I've seen them be like, you don't need to help me. I don't even, they get offended, like, I can get my door myself or whatever, right? But those things, there should be norms, but I think we have to pay attention more. Like now in church, I find that when I go to different churches, that people have on baseball caps or hats, like you have on right there. Back in the day when I was little, I don't think I saw that nowhere ever when I was little. Nobody was like, you take your hat off, right? That's culture. You don't do that because it's a respect thing. And I think that we just need to be aware of the environments that we're in. And if everybody can make room for everybody's culture and environment, it's not that one is more right than the other. If I go into a space, I go to church and they say, we dress up here and you take your own no hat, then I'm coming correct. And there's something for me to get. And if I go to another place and they like, we ain't doing all of that. Girl, get it together.
I'm so sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna adjust for that environment, for that space. So I think standards are important, but not to be oppressive. And they have to continually, the ways we get there have to continually expand and evolve in terms of what it looks like. Or we stay stuck and stagnant.
I like it.
Pause? Santi.
All right, y'all. Anybody else on standards?
No. I agree with everything Mommy said.
I appreciate this conversation, y'all, and I appreciate you, Santi, for leading us down all of these interesting questions that got us going. I hope that everybody watching,
I'm
how
worried.
you may not have agreed with everything you heard, or you might have been.
I'm worried about this.
Too is just really.
I'm worried about this one.
You worried about it? Mm-hmm. You worried that they're gonna be? You gonna get canceled?
No, I ain't worried about that. But
You worried
it was a little bit risky of a topic, conversation, and
What's risky is the two of y'all, because I'm about to whip y'all behinds right here on the show. Stop it. What are y'all doing?
but I
am. Eating this?
I'm not doing nothing. They own one right now.
For real.
But yeah, I appreciate.
A diet.
I appreciate the engagement, the energy, and yeah, I hope y'all pulled away something from this.
Oh, and what I was saying is that whether you agree with everything that you heard or did not agree, one of the let me see if one of my children can bring this out. One of the things, if not, it's not the top, but one of the top things that we try to teach our kids
I'm so sorry.
is that there is more than, somebody say it?
One way.
There is more than one way. There is more than one way.
Yeah.
And that is a principle we stand on in our family. There's more than one way. So we hope that this has been of help to you in some way. We'll see you on the next relationship. Chico.
Peace out, y'all.